Hello and welcome back to Rugby Today, your home for everything you need to know from across the professional game. If you enjoy staying across the biggest stories in professional rugby, the sharpest analysis, and of course the best competitions in the game, make sure you subscribe to the FloRugby channel where we will have you covered in all departments. You can also check out our FloRugby subscription packages, giving you access to elite club competitions and major international fixtures from around the world of professional rugby. Now, let us get into the biggest rugby news making the headlines right now today. Perpignan have pulled off one of the most surprising moves of the season by agreeing to a 3-year deal with current All Black star winger Sevu Reece. And the scale of this move cannot be overstated for both club and for New Zealand. This is a club currently rooted to the bottom of the top 14 and with just one bonus point from 11 games, planning like a side that expects to be playing elite French rugby next season is an interesting move. The catch, of course, is that the deal only happens if Perpignan somehow survive dropping down to the Pro D2. Right now, survival looks a long way off for one of the great rugby clubs. They are 6 points behind Montauban and more than 20 points adrift of Lyon, who are in 12th position. But this move tells you something important about the ambition inside the club. President Francois Riviere teased the arrival of an international star of Jamie Ritchie caliber last week, and it has now been revealed that of course Reece is that man. That is not smoke and mirrors for Perpignan. This is a statement of intent from the club. Reece, who is only 28 years old, still firmly in his prime and has 37 All Blacks caps to his name. He is also willing to walk away from the international rugby to make the move to France, knowing full well that All Blacks eligibility requires playing domestically in New Zealand. As it stands, of course. That is not a short-term cash grab from the winger. That is a calculated career decision and follows on from his previously planned move to Connacht in Ireland. On the pitch, the numbers speak loudly. 66 tries in 88 appearances for the Crusaders, 22 tries at international level. He scored twice off the bench against Wales recently and was in outstanding form last season as the Crusaders lifted the Super Rugby Pacific title. He can play wing, fullback and at a stretch outside centre, which in the top 14 is incredibly valuable given the physical toll and constant squad rotation required to compete in that competition. For Perpignan, this would instantly transform their backline threat. They have struggled to turn pressure into points recently, particularly out wide, and Reece is an absolutely ruthless finisher who thrives in broken field opportunities. Just ask Wales, of course. The bigger question is whether this gamble ever gets the chance to materialise. If Perpignan go down, the deal disappears. If they stay up, it becomes one of the most eye-catching signings in French rugby next season. So plenty on the line for both the club and for Reece, of course. Now, turning over to Ireland, Jack Crowley is back at the heart of Munster's plans as they look to reset their Investec Champions Cup campaign against Gloucester in Cork this weekend. After the sobering defeat to Bath last weekend, this is not a subtle response from Munster. It's a full-scale reset for Clayton McMillan's side. Crowley missed that opening loss through injury and his absence was felt immediately. Munster lacked control, composure and direction, and his return at fly half is central to fixing that for the Irish side. He slots straight back into the familiar halfback partnership with Craig Casey, which remains the axis with which this team functions. And again, it was notable, even though JJ Hanrahan played well last week, just what Jack Crowley brings to this side. There are 9 personnel changes in total, which tells you everything about the messages coming out of Thomond Park. And this is not a rotation, this is accountability. Tyg Byrne returns to the second row, having started in the back row last week, and he takes on the captaincy once again, bringing leadership and physical edge. Jean Klein returns to partner him, restoring some much needed ballast in the engine room, having pulled out for personal reasons last week. The occasion also matters for Munster Rugby. Super Value Park Equive will host the game with a crowd of around 40,000 expected. Munster are likely to break their Champions Cup home attendance record, and this is about reconnecting with identity as much as it is about the tactics of Munster Rugby as a whole. In the backline, Mike Haley starts at fullback, returning from injury. Shane Daly moves to the wing, and Ben O'Connor gets another opportunity, one of the most highly touted talents in Irish rugby. Alex Nankivell and Dan Kelly link up in the midfield, while up front, Michael Alalatoa makes his first Munster start. Now 34 years old, the former Leinster prop brings experience and scrummaging stability to a reshaped front row that is still absent of Ollie Jaeger. There is also a nod to the future on the bench, with Conor Bartley included after impressing in the AIL earlier this season. This is a must-win for Munster. Lose again and the pressure ramps up very quickly. Win and the narrative shifts just as fast, following what has been a very challenging fortnight. Finally, this is a very big moment for us at FloRugby. We have agreed a deal to stream Japan League 1 for the 2025-26 and 2026-27 seasons, adding another major competition to our already extensive portfolio. Japan League 1 has quietly become one of the most compelling domestic leagues in world rugby, and this deal gives it the platform it deserves in North America. All eyes will of course be on the competition this weekend, as the season begins with Dave Rennie aiming to follow in the footsteps of Robbie Deans and of course Eddie Jones by winning in Japan. Rennie has steadily improved the Kobe Steelers over the past 2 seasons, finishing 5th and then 3rd, and now has serious firepower at his disposal, which is going to be necessary if they are to take top spot. Ardi Savia headlines the arrivals, returning to Kobe after a previous stint, and he is joined by Anton Leonard-Brown. The side is captained by Brodie Retallick, reuniting a core of former All Blacks in Kansai. Elsewhere, Richie Mo'unga is chasing a 3rd straight title with the Brave Lupus Tokyo, while the Wild Knights remain a threat, with Beric Barnes pulling the strings for the attacking game there as the attack coach. Spears Funabasi Bay will push again with Bernard Foley and Malcolm Marks after failing just short last season. This is no longer a retirement league for some of the biggest names in the game. The coaching quality is absolutely elite, as is the playing style out there. All of the playing rosters are stacked and the competition depth improves every single season. Japan League 1 is now a genuine top tier competition, and we at FloRugby are incredibly proud to bring it to the North American audience. So make sure you check out our FloRugby subscription packages for all of the best competitions Club Rugby has to offer, as well as some cracking test match action, of course. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, again, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a comment about what your thoughts are this weekend with the Investec Champions Cup returning for round 2. Which team do you believe needs a big win more than any other this weekend? Let us know below, and let us know, of course, why you believe that. Thanks again for checking out the video.